美国自诩开放包容和学术自由，却错误制定并颁布实施第10003号行政令，滥用国家安全概念，将学术研究政治化、武器化，一再对中国赴美学生实施盘查、滋扰、遣返，严重损害中国留学人员合法权益，严重毒化两国人文交流氛围，严重违反两国元首关于加强和便利两国人文交流的共识，同中美两国人民开展友好交流的共同愿望背道而驰。中方敦促美方将欢迎中国留学生的表态落到实处，撤销错误的第10003号行政令，停止以国家安全为借口打压限制中国赴美留学人员，切实保障中国在美学生安全和合法权益，以实际行动兑现支持和便利中美人文交流和人员往来的承诺。中方将继续采取必要措施，坚决维护中国公民合法权益，也提醒赴美留学人员警惕相关风险。
China on Thursday urged the US to stop suppressing Chinese students in the US in the name of national security. This is your favorite half Chinese. I will read some parts of the article itself, and then we will have the background of it, and then we will watch what the foreign ministry had to say about it. So stay tuned. The remarks were made by Chinese Foreign Minister spokesman Wang Wenbin at a regular press briefing in response to a report that the US has recently interrogated and inspected the portable devices of several Chinese students entering the US. Well, for the people in America that always talk about privacy, there you go. So much for your privacy. With some students having their visas cancelled and not allowed to enter the US for 5 years. Students, a national security threat. I guess if garlic is a national security threat, the student must be too. It's ridiculous. For a long time, the US has interrogated, detained, and repatriated Chinese students with valid US visas and certificates, which is motivated by political purposes, said Wang. Noting there were dozens of Chinese nationals going to the US, including students being forcibly repatriated by the US side every month recently. Wang called the US approach discriminatory, selective, and politically motivated law enforcement actions, which China firmly opposes. And we share the same view about it. Me, MrFong, and Mr. Wang. I love Mr. Wang. Click a like if you love Mr. Wang too. He said the US promulgated the so-called Proclamation 10043. A little note here for the people who don't know what Proclamation 10043 is. Proclamation 10043 is a presidential proclamation signed by Donald Trump, the 45th US president, on May 29, 2020, in order to prohibit students in the People's Republic of China associated with the People's Liberation Army from obtaining F visas or J visas. So it is an extremely racist and discriminatory proclamation at best, if you ask me. So, for example, I have a far uncle who works as a soldier or maybe was a soldier. I can't study in the US if I came from China. That's ridiculous, man. In the same way, if I came from the Netherlands, all of a sudden I can. So that makes it racist, as it is towards one race only, and discriminatory. Well, that speaks for itself. It singles out Chinese and specifically somebody who has any association with the PLA, which could be a far family, maybe even a friend. I mean, you had an association. That's what an association is, right? Anyways, the article continues. Abuse the concept of national security, politicized academic research, and repeatedly repatriated Chinese students, seriously undermining the lawful rights and interests of Chinese students studying in the US. Violating the consensus reached by the two heads of state on facilitating people-to-people exchanges, as well as the common aspiration of the two peoples to carry out friendly exchanges. So, then it goes on what the Proclamation 11043 was signed by the Trump administration. We already had that one. Right? Wang urges the US to genuinely welcome Chinese students, as it has said. Withdraw the biased and discriminatory Proclamation 10043, safeguard the safety and legitimate rights and interests of Chinese scholars and students in the US. and take practical actions to fulfill its commitment to support and facilitate China-US people-to-people exchanges. China will continue to take necessary measures to defend Chinese citizens' lawful rights and interests and remind the students heading for the US to be mindful of such risks, the spokesman said. I said it before and I say it again. It is racist and discriminatory, and it shows what kind of values America holds and what it stands for. We even could make a case that Americans themselves also are like that, since they have not protested this. Now, mind you, I don't say they all are, but you can't blame people for thinking or assuming that, since nobody is protesting it, which means, in the eyes of many, that you agree. Now, what would the USA say if China did the same and kicked out all who has affiliation with the US Army? They would say exactly the same as I do, and rightfully so. That is if China initiated it, because if they're doing it now, it would be, retaliation. It's no problem anymore. Americans should start to understand that if China is doing it now, they are in their right. You are still not in the right. Do you understand what can happen? How bad it would be for your own people, especially the ones in China? Anyways, it shows how much the US is attacking China. In my eyes, this is straight out persecution of Chinese people, period. That is my opinion, not a statement. It also will let the US miss out on some top students of China. And mind you, dear Americans, all those tech people, the vast majority are Asians, of which a big chunk, if not the biggest, are Chinese. Yes, they do the developing in your country for your companies in Silicon Valley and other places. Many stay after getting great job offers and doing great jobs helping your companies and country. This treatment of Chinese people is so backwards, it's unbelievable. And when we look at the other attacks on China, we see clear vision of who is the real enemy. But yet, they call China the enemy. But who's attacking who? It is clear that the United States does not want China to succeed, as they ban sales of so many products to China and now also trying to not allow Chinese to become intellectuals. It is so ridiculous, and it will lead to destruction of themselves in the long run. My advice to the US is the following. Instead of trying to tear down other nations, try lifting up your own nation. Instead of stuffing your kids with fast food and sugar and motivating them to do degenerate things, maybe try stuffing them with healthy food and motivate them to do virtuous things like studying. Instead of using trillions of dollars for endless wars destroying other nations, so your kids can go to study without having to worry to become a debt slave when they finished their study. This is how you build a good foundation for your own people. Tearing down another nation doesn't make you a better one. Okay, let's see what the Foreign Ministry have to say about it.
长期以来，美方出于政治目的，对持合法有效证件和签证的中国赴美留学生滥施打压迫害，动辄盘查、关押、逼供、诱导，甚至遣返。近几个月来，每月均有数十名包括留学生在内的中方赴美人员被美方强制遣返。美方的做法是典型的选择性、歧视性、政治性执法，中方对此强烈不满，坚决反对。美国自诩开放包容和学术自由，却错误制定并颁布实施第10043号行政令，滥用国家安全概念，将学术研究政治化、武器化，一再对中国赴美学生实施盘查、滋扰、遣返，严重损害中国留学人员合法权益，严重毒化两国人文交流氛围，严重违反两国元首关于加强和便利两国人文交流的共识，同中美两国人民开展友好交流的共同愿望背道而驰。中方敦促美方将欢迎中国留学生的表态落到实处，撤销错误的第10043号行政令，停止以国家安全为借口打压限制中国赴美留学人员，切实保障中国在美学者、学生安全和合法权益，以实际行动兑现支持和便利中美人文交流和人员往来的承诺。中方将继续采取必要措施，坚决维护中国公民合法权益，也提醒赴美留学人员警惕相关风险。
Please let me know in the comment section what you all thought of this, but please keep it respectful. We are not egocentric, uncivilized, self-isolating barbarians, unlike some others. If you enjoyed the video, please rub it a like, share, and if you have not yet, then follow. This was your favorite half Chinese, and as always, have a great day.